Chapter 9, The Distribution of Means. Military maneuvers result from plans and strategies for the most advantageous way to win. They determine the mobility and effectiveness of the troops. If you are going to position your army to observe the enemy, quickly traverse the mountains and keep watch on them from a valley. Consider the effect of light and stay in the highest position of the valley. When fighting on a mountain, attack from the top down, not the other way around. Fight when going downhill, never uphill. Avoid letting water divide your forces, move away from unfavorable conditions as soon as possible. Do not engage enemies in the water, it's best to let half of their troops pass and then divide and attack them. Do not position yourself downstream. Do not travel against the current or against the wind. If you camp on the riverbank, your armies can be surprised at night, pushed to drown, or poisoned in the current. Do not anchor your boats downstream to prevent the enemy from taking advantage of the current by sending their boats against you. Cross swamps quickly. If you face an army in the middle of a swamp, stay near aquatic plants or backed by trees. On a plain, take positions that are easy to maneuver, with higher ground behind and to your right, and lower ground in front and to the left. Generally, an army prefers higher ground and avoids lower ground, appreciates light, and dislikes darkness. High grounds are invigorating, and people feel comfortable in them. They are also suitable for gaining the strength of momentum. Low grounds are damp, which causes diseases and hinders combat. Take care of the physical health of your soldiers with the best resources available. When there is no illness in an army, it is said to be invincible. Where there are mounds and embankments, position yourself on the sunny side, always keeping them to your right and behind. Placing yourself in the best part of the terrain is advantageous for a military force. The advantage in a military operation lies in making use of all beneficial terrain factors. When it rains upstream and the current carries foam, if you want to cross it, wait until it clears. Whenever the terrain presents insurmountable ravines, closed places, traps, risks, crevices, and natural prisons, you must quickly abandon it and not approach it. As for me, I always stay away from these terrain accidents, so that adversaries are closer to them than I am. I face these accidents, so that they are behind the enemy. Then you are in an advantageous position, and they have unfavorable conditions. When an army is moving, if it crosses mountainous territories with many streams and wells, or swamps covered with reeds, or virgin forests full of trees and vegetation, it is essential to scrutinize them thoroughly and carefully, as these places aid ambushes and spies. It is essential to dismount and survey the terrain, in case there are hidden troops waiting to ambush you. It could also be that there are spies lurking, observing your instructions and movements. When the enemy is nearby but remains calm, it means they are in a strong position. When they are far away but try to provoke hostilities, it means they want you to advance. If, in addition, their position is accessible, it means it is favorable to them. If an opponent does not hold the position that is favorable to them due to the terrain conditions and instead places themselves in another convenient location, it must be because there is some tactical advantage in doing so. If the trees move, the enemy is approaching. If there are obstacles among the thickets, you have taken a wrong path. The idea of placing many obstacles among the thickets is to make you think that there are hidden troops in the midst of it. If birds take flight, there are hidden troops in the area. If animals are frightened, there are attacking troops. If thick and tall dust columns rise, chariots are approaching. If they are low and wide, infantry is approaching. Scattered smoke signals indicate that wood is being cut. Small dust clouds that come and go indicate that it's time to break camp. If nocturnal calls occur, enemy soldiers are fearful. They are afraid and restless, and that's why they call to each other. If the army lacks discipline, this means the general is not taken seriously. If the standards move, it means the army is in confusion. Signals are used to unify the group, so if they move here and there without order or arrangement, it means their ranks are confused. If their emissaries show irritation, it means they are tired. If they kill their horses for meat, it means the soldiers lack food. When they have no cooking pots and do not return to their camp, they are completely desperate enemies. If there are mutterings, lack of discipline, and soldiers talk a lot among themselves, it means loyalty to the troops has been lost. Mutterings describe the expression of true feelings, lack of discipline indicates problems with superiors. When command has lost the loyalty of the troops, soldiers speak frankly to each other about their problems with their superiors. If many rewards are given, it means the enemy is in a dead end. When too many punishments are ordered, it means the enemy is desperate. When the force of their momentum is exhausted, they constantly give rewards to keep the soldiers content, preventing them from rebelling en masse. When soldiers are so exhausted that they cannot follow orders, they are punished repeatedly to restore authority. To be violent at the beginning and later fear one's own soldiers is the height of ineptitude. Emissaries who come with a conciliatory attitude indicate that the enemy wants a truce. If enemy troops face you with enthusiasm but delay entering combat without leaving the terrain, observe them carefully. They are preparing a surprise attack. In military matters, it is not necessarily more beneficial to be superior in forces, only to avoid unnecessary violence. It is sufficient to consolidate your power, estimate the enemy, and gather troops, that's all. An enemy that acts alone, lacks strategy, and takes their adversaries lightly will inevitably be defeated. If your plan does not contain a withdrawal strategy or a post-attack strategy but relies solely on the strength of your soldiers, and you take your adversaries lightly without assessing their condition, you will surely be captured. If soldiers are punished before achieving loyalty to the command, they will not obey, and if they do not obey, they will be difficult to employ. They cannot be employed even if no punishment is carried out, even after gaining their loyalty. When there is an underlying sense of appreciation and trust, and the hearts of the soldiers are already tied to the command, if discipline is relaxed, the soldiers will become arrogant and impossible to employ. Therefore, lead them through civilized art and unify them through martial arts. This means continuous victory. Civilized art means humanity, and martial arts mean regulations. Command them with humanity and benevolence, unify them strictly and firmly. When benevolence and firmness are evident, you can be sure of victory. When orders are given clearly, simply, and consistently to the troops, they accept them. When orders are confused, contradictory, and changing, the troops either do not accept them or do not understand them. This chapter from The Art of War by Sun Tzu can be applied to various business situations, emphasizing the importance of strategic planning, understanding your environment, and managing resources effectively. Strategic positioning. Just as in warfare, businesses need to position themselves strategically in the market. This involves quickly adapting to changes in the industry and observing competitors from various angles. Adaptation to surroundings. Just as a military force should adapt to its environment, businesses must adapt to the economic, technological, and regulatory landscape. This means staying agile and being prepared to change course when necessary. Terrain analysis. In business, understanding the competitive landscape, market conditions, and customer preferences is crucial. This knowledge helps in making informed decisions and avoiding unfavorable situations. Resource management. Efficiently managing resources, whether it's finances, human capital, or technology, is essential. Wastefulness and mismanagement can lead to dire consequences. Discipline and leadership. Maintaining discipline within the organization and having effective leadership are key to success. Leaders should lead with both compassion and authority to inspire loyalty and commitment from their teams. Adaptability and flexibility. The business world is constantly changing. To succeed, companies need to adapt, learn, and innovate. Sticking to rigid plans without considering changing circumstances can lead to failure. Effective communication. Clear and concise communication within an organization is vital. Confusion and contradictory messages can disrupt operations and lead to inefficiencies. Assessment and analysis. Regularly evaluating the competitive landscape, market conditions, and internal operations helps in making informed decisions and seizing opportunities. Resource allocation. Allocating resources wisely based on strategic goals and market conditions is essential for maintaining a competitive advantage. Building loyalty and trust. Leaders should build trust and loyalty within their teams to ensure that employees are motivated and committed to achieving organizational goals. In essence, this chapter emphasizes the importance of strategic thinking, adaptability, effective resource management, and disciplined leadership in the context of business. Understanding your business environment and leveraging your resources effectively can lead to success, just as in military campaigns.